What's going on, guys? This is Costi with PickDawgz here with episode number 10. 10. Two hands. Episode number 10. 10 straight weeks. Tales from the Ticket. This is quite a different show than everything else on this channel. We do not specifically give out picks. We do not talk about today's board. We simply talk about strategies and ways that you can make money beating the books without having to purchase anything, and simply strategy talk. So appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. I'm sure more people will tune in. Eric, how are you doing staying out of this insane heat?
Who said I was staying out of this insane heat? I was riding at 8 o'clock this morning. So basically I get up every morning, do a little ride. It's about 86 degrees. That way I can say I got it in before it cooks up.
So you did the ride last week.
Friday. So I did 109 miles on Friday, raised $9,600, $400 shy of that 10-time goal. Awesome. And then I died on Saturday. Then I did 25 miles on Sunday. And then I did 5 miles on Monday and 5 miles on Tuesday and 5 miles on Wednesday. You got to keep the blood flowing, baby.
So my question is, and this is like legitimately, I thought something happened. And so you posted the link to your Garmin.
Right.
And at like 10 or 11 in the morning, it stopped reporting.
Lost connection just because the internet.
I thought you lost more than just the connection. I was like, oh no, haven't heard from him. Might have taken a spill. The Garmin's broken.
No.
It's good to know.
7 hours and 20 minutes. I put it on my Instagram at Eric P. Wise Guy on my Instagram. But I'm glad it's done. But I'll be doing it again next year. As I always say, my son always asks me, how long will you do it? I said, as long as you're autistic. So therefore, and listen, I'm 52. I'm riding with these guys. This guy's like kicking my ass. Like, man, you're in good shape. How old are you? You go 66. So, age is just a number.
And how many years have you done this? 7 now?
This is my 7th or 8th year, yeah.
Remember 1 year I actually did sign up for it?
Yeah.
But I pussied out.
But also notice all the people that I have ridden with me will continue to donate money, but stopped riding with me after the first ride because they couldn't take it after the first one.
A couple have done it more than once.
Dane did it more than once, but that was it.
It was an injury. Dane did take a fall.
He did take a fall.
Tear. Just like, listen, they Vegas never sleeps, and also the race. You just keep, even if it's rain or shine, the race goes on.
Rain or shine. We have no spring or fall in Baltimore anymore. It just goes from winter to summer, summer to winter. It's hell on earth. It went from cold, rain to crush you humidity. Did you play golf this morning?
I did. I don't walk when it's above 85 degrees. I ride a car. It's just too hot.
So brutal. That's weak.
Dude, you're out there for 4 hours. Golf is not an endurance sport. It is not a sport where it's like you have to fight through the endurance. Like if I was playing soccer, if I was playing football, basketball, cycling, anything that's basically endurance-based, running, you're getting through you're just fighting through it. Golf is not an endurance sport. You lose that mental edge, you're done. It just becomes not fun. It's just very, very hard to play when you're not mentally sharp, but it's part of the enjoyment of trying to get through it. It was fun on the front nine, and the back nine it got a little steamy. I think it's like 103 today, heat index. So listen, it is what it is. Not worried about it. But what I am worried about is the fact that we are now counting down the days to football. Baseball's been really good of late. I feel like between all the different personalities that we promote, as well as some other groups that we promote in terms of totals, finally catching a rhythm overall. I mean, not everybody is going to be crushing it and winning every single day, but I feel like we have a couple of groups dialed in where they're producing.
First of all, I agree with you completely. But you know what's funny is I tell everybody dogs win 40% of the time in baseball. I'm 4-6 this week. I've released 10 games and I'm 4-6 this week, and I'm just checking the records. What do you think I'm down right now? I'm 4-6. What do you think I'm down?
Down 2 units.
I'm up $150 betting a dime a game. So this is what I tell people. It's like everybody's obsessed with wins and losses. What I did before we came on here, because I wanted to educate people, and since we have an hour, a lot of people don't realize it's 2025. Now, what year were you born?
83.
Okay, check this out. We're going to do a little story time. Are you familiar with the computer group?
I've read some articles about them. I'm not directly, I don't have a big wealth of knowledge, but I am familiar that they
So
came.
my partner, who's no longer with us, Larry Ducart, his best friend, Mike Levitt, was a runner for the computer group. The computer group was a big betting syndicate created by a guy named Michael Kent in 1984.
After I was born.
So think about this. From 1984 to 1985, they won $15 million. Now think about $15 million is a lot of money. Now, 41 years ago, $15 million was like outrageous. I mean, it's still outrageous, right? But a lot of people, what was interesting is that when you look back at the computer group and you look at these betting syndicates, because people keep asking me, what's a syndicate versus a handicapper? What's a syndicate versus a handicapper? And they think this is something that's like new age. This is old. This is old. Literally, if you Google Michael Kent, I'm doing it right now, computer group, sports betting. The reason why Billy Walters, hey Bobby, I see you on the what's up? I always laugh when I see Bobby's name because I asked him the first time we spoke, I said, are you related to Billy? Billy's the most famous front-facing bettor for the computer group. But Wikipedia, Michael Kent was one of two founders of the computer group, which used statistics-based sports betting to predict the outcome of college football. The group reportedly made millions each season. According to figures compiled at the time by Michael Kent, the computer group in 1983/1984, so it was the year you were born, earned almost $5 million from wagering on college. And here's the kicker, Costi, occasionally NFL. Yet Michael Kent suspects that his records are incomplete. They do not account for his personal bets made by Dr. Minden or Billy Walters and Glenn Walker or the dozens of other associates like Mike Levitt here in Baltimore and Larry Ducart, my partner. The group was estimated to have earned $10 to $15 million. Kent invented the statistical models. He was 34 years old when he created the first successful program for handicapping basketball and football games. Together with his brother, Michael collected statistical data about every team that put his info in the computer and updated the program. Fast forward, it sounds like Al 2.0, right? So a lot of people give me shade when they emails, text, and comments because that's actually Al McMorty. Hold on one second. Let me keep.
He can wait an hour, man.
I'm going to call him right now.
No,
we're live. I'm going to call him right now. He wanted to record. He's got to go to Vegas. I'm actually live on YouTube from 1 to 2 East right now. I just started the show. I'll be off at 2 East if you can do it right when I get off, unless you're already leaving.
Tell him to come on the show.
All right, then. Okay. Then you want it? We'll just figure it out. We'll play it by ear. All right, bye. Now he's getting in the car. He's got to drive to Vegas to meet a client. So we do it real here. Like I say,
look, you guys should understand.
It's fun. Do you realize I said his name and then he called?
That was weird. But the fact is, nobody could see it. But look, Eric never misses a call. His brain could not pick up the phone.
Never
miss anybody's calls.
No,
if you call Eric, he'll answer.
What I was going to say is the shade is people wanting justification on each individual game versus understanding that if you're using statistical models, there's an absence of an opinion for people that make the most money. Like for example, I got a group right now that I released on my Dime Club channel, and I was going over it. I've been releasing their WNBA for 4 weeks. Beside Caitlin Clark, I couldn't name a player, right? Week 1, 6-0. Week 2, 2-1. Week 3, 4, 5-1. This week so far, after last night's 2-0, 3-1. So I got this group that's using statistical models, syndicate style, WNBA, 15, 7, and 1. Now, the thing is, I had a couple clients that were watching the first 6 plays and didn't play them. And then I said, if you didn't play the first 6 in a row, you got to go easy because now it's 15 and 7. So you're not going to get consistent of just never losing games. But I had a guy tell me, man, I've been watching this WNBA. I'm not playing it. I don't know anything about it. Like, dude, you were born in 1983. This computer group started the year you were born. Now, what was telling about Michael Kent and the computer group is that you notice where everyone's obsessed with the NFL, their response was occasional NFL games, right? Volume is king. And I'm going to get to it because I wanted to have a little educational format on the show. So I did a segment of how I can explain to people the reality. So when you look, what I would say is if you're watching this and you're sitting there and you're saying, I want to win money wagering on sports, it is easy to go back 42 years, right? You were born in 83. I'm born in 73. We're exactly 10 years apart, literally a couple days apart. So 42 years ago is basically the creation. So it's kind of interesting. That was the first professional betting syndicate created the year you were born in 1983. So now you fast forward 42 years. And the problem is because of the internet, everybody, remember, these guys had old school big IBM computers that filled up, you needed a house to fill up the mainframe computer. And and here you can have Al on a laptop and send it out. You know what I mean? But when you look at, if you're going to be a student of history, instead of saying, how can I win money? Say, who already won money? What did they do? How can I replicate that? As opposed to somebody sent me a text yesterday and said, he said, man, you got to relax, man, with that response. That's not right. I was just asking you a question. Because, I never, for all those people that know me, you know this, not only do I never not answer a phone call, I never delete a text. So if you've sent me a text message in the last 50 years, I never, because I want to know if that's a newer inquiry or if that's an existing inquiry, re-inquiring. So, I catch people off guard. They'll send me a text and they'll be like, hey, I'm really interested in your product. I watched your YouTube video. I saw you won this game. If you win tonight. And I said, well, sir, you texted me on September 9th, 2022, and you said the same thing. And then you texted me on April 9th, 2023, and you said the same thing. And then you originally texted me in 2015 and you said the same thing. I really don't think you're interested in being of a client, but thanks for checking in again. It irritates people because I put it on. Then I like screenshot their text from like 8 years ago. I really want to win money. I'm losing. Then the guy sends me a text in 2025. I really want to win money. I'm losing. And then I say, man, you said the same thing a decade ago. So I always go back to look at the people that actually did this and look at how they did this. One of our good friends and clients, Brad, he sent me a text yesterday. He was analyzing the totals group. And I said, I said it's a waste of brain space. It's what I call brain rot, because the reality is what I learned from these betting syndicates. Like last night, I had a total. It was under 7 in the Miami game, right? I wake up in the morning. I go to bed. It's like 4-2 in the 9th inning with 2. For me, I just go to bed. I wake up and I see they score like gazillion runs in the 9th and the 10th inning, and they bust the total. It's variance. It is what it is. Do I think that the group that was on that had the wrong side of that game? No. It just is what it is. It's variance. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people to look back at the people that are already successful, like the video series I did with Al, showing these up 507 units. Now on the all access. So if you're betting 1,000 a game since week 1 of NFL season last year, you're up $507,000, $500,000, right? Now his differential between his wins and losses was 200 games. So he's like 750. I'm rounding it because he gave me the exact number. It's like 750 and 550 since week 1 of the NFL season, right? So how do you know when you're going to get the 550 losses? You can't just, right. You can't just like say, it's like I always told somebody, like I said to somebody once, everybody's obsessed with win-loss percentages. If you were up 200, if you were 750, if you were up 200 units, you still made money flat betting every game. But the problem is, are you able to handle that roller coaster ride of knowing, because you got to bet the 550 losses to play the 750 wins. So now, while we're on my monologue, I had a little fun this morning. For all you guys, everybody knows about ChatGPT. I have Grok downloaded on the app on my phone. So I was like, let me have a little fun before we get on here. And I said, the question I asked was, what kind of bankroll do I need to make $100 a day wagering on sports? So I figured, let AI give me the answer, right? So I'm not going to bore you with, because it gave me a very in-depth multi-page answer. But for all those people that are, I'd love to make $100 a day. Now, you and I both know that people call you every day and they have $400 in their FanDuel account or DraftKings account, and they want to make $100 a day. Key factors influencing bankroll size. Several factors influence the bankroll needed to make $100 a day wagering on sports. Win rate, the percentage of bets won. A realistic win rate for a skilled bettor is typically 52 to 60% for standard bets with minus 110 odds, betting 110 to win 100. The betting unit size, commonly recommended, is 1 to 3% bankroll per wager. This helps manage risk. Conservative bettors, beginners, maybe 1%, while aggressive bettors might go up to 3%. Obviously, we have groups that go up to 5% and 10%, but again, we're in a different world, syndicate style. Odds and expected value. The odds affect profitability. At 110, the break-even win rate is 52.38%. Achieving a positive expected value is essential for consistent profits. To make $100 a day, you need enough bets with positive expected value, and you need a minimum bankroll of 100 units, which is $11,000. So somebody, the AI has given me equation breakdown: expected profit, expected loss. Now, here's the kicker for all you guys that look for that one big bet a day to bet on. This is coming from Grok. This is not coming from a capper or me Googling an answer, right? This is AI, artificial intelligence. Bets needed to make $100 profit a day average on 18.18 bets daily, totaling 20% of your wager. 110 multiplied by 18.18 equals $2,000. So the irony is when somebody says to me, man, Al's got a lot of bets. He's 20 bets a day. Or Micah, forget Al. Micah puts Al to shame, right, when it comes to volume because he's global, not local. And, you know, if you're part of Micah's syndicate, and again, we have a very small percentage of players that are part of that because that's in a whole nother level. The algorithm, the AI intelligence answers, you have so you call me up, you want to make $100 a day. You should be wagering. You should start with an $11,000 bankroll, not 10, because you have to include the 10 cents. We're talking football now, not baseball. And then you want to be burning through at least $2,000 a day, which is 20% of your bankroll, which this time of year, unless you're part of Micah's groups via me, very hard to get down 18 bets. It is easy with Micah because you can rock and roll with tennis and golf and, you know, KBO and everything, right? Soccer, international soccer. Soccer really helps the volume for betting syndicates. But do you think the average client wants to hear that they need to make 18 bets a day, Costi, to average $100?
No.
And it has to start with 11,000.
I love that outside of what we've been preaching for decades, that AI understands the dynamics.
Oh, it's crazy. It's giving me stuff that's like right on the money.
To bet smarter. Most people, no matter what they say, cannot handle losing. Doesn't matter. A losing streak comes as disciplined as you are, as primed and really went through the gauntlet of educating yourself that losing streaks happen, and eventually the variance comes and it's like the switch turns and all of a sudden those people cannot handle it. Go ahead.
So it's not that what I'm realizing now, when you go back to Michael Kent, again, the year of your birth, what I'm realizing is that it's that every gambler that flips out on variance and puts so much emphasis into one game is doing the opposite of what Micah and Al do and what we do, which is they're putting all their emphasis in one or two or three games. So then I ask Grok the next questions. What's the hardest impediment to making $100 a day wagering on sports? The first answer: practical considerations for achieving $100 daily. Betting volume. Finding 18 to 20 expected value bets a day is challenging. You need to bet on multiple sports or markets to increase risk and unit size. No, Big John, no, the answer is absolutely not. I've discussed this with Micah as well. So all these Instagram, what you've seen is people using marketing to say that they're using AI to analyze team stats, and ultimately it's not. It's listen, I'm not here to disparage anybody. I'm not one of these guys that. What I will say to you is the groups that we deal with move more money in the world than any other groups. But I have Instagram on my phone. Everybody knows my Facebook account got hacked. I refuse to make another one, so I'm only on Instagram. I get geo-targeted with 50 AI ads a day. I had a guy call me up and told me he was down 700,000 using AI sports picking, and I'm not laughing at the gentleman, right? But this is what I didn't understand. very intelligent guy. Obviously has enough money to lose 700,000. It's a small part of his fun money. And I said, how did you lose it? He said, man, I subscribed to this AI service. And I'm not going to mention the website. I'm not going to give free marketing. And it gives me the website. And we're on the phone together. And it's $49 a month. And I said to the gentleman, just think for a second. Al McMorty will sell his database. He said, if you can find a buyer, I'll sell it. What do you think he'll sell it for, Costi?
$5 million.
Minimum. I said, if somebody offered you $1 million cash, absolutely not. I win that every football season. What are you? Absolutely not. No, so my question is, this goes back to caveat emptor, buyer beware. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. A lot of people take issue with the fact that someone like me is not going to sell daily selections online. You can go to PickDawgz community. We love the community. You can buy daily picks from Al and every capper. And could I make a lot more personal revenue selling daily picks online? Sure. I won't do it because it's not the syndicate way of betting that I was raised in. So if somebody calls me up and tells me I got geo-targeted with an ad on Facebook or Instagram, I got this AI program that just prints money. I shouldn't say those two words. That's a sore subject in my life. We're going to act like I didn't say that. Man, that sucks. That will make you money on a consistent basis. And you believe that for $49, and then you get these selections spit out to you, and then you bet thousands of dollars, and you want to know why you're down 700,000. It's like, shame on you. Like, do you believe that somebody that's got the goose that laid the golden egg? When Al says to me, find me a buyer 5 to 7 to 8 to 10 million, and you could be the broker of that software, great. When ESPN interviews Al because of his program, and then they even inquired 10 years ago and say, well, what would you sell it for? And even back then, it was like 2011. I think he was featured in ESPN. Not less than 5 million then. So if it's too good to be true, it usually is. And I like to use the car analogy. Would anybody buy a Ferrari for $2,000? It looks perfect. You pull up, it's like the Flintstones. You get in, you're pedaling with your feet because there's no engine. Like, there's got to be a reason it's so cheap. So, don't buy into this. It's a great marketing angle. The reality is these statistical algorithms that human beings code, the part that the Big George, I think that was his name, on the comment said is every day there's an injury. So that NBA game, the guy that got taken out in the beginning, well, then you have to go back in, you have to manually enter that in. This guy's not in. If that wasn't the last game, let's say that was the game 6. Now you have to go in and you have to pull that he's out of the game, and you have to mount. So all the work, there's no black box that just runs. You flip a switch every day because every day players are injured, right? So every day you have to enter that new data in every day. So now not only so they're constantly updating and manually putting in the stuff that's happening at real time on the field or the court or the ice. So therefore there's no, now there's going to be a million companies that are going to take advantage of uneducated sports bettors and sell bets for $49 for a month and say, I have this AI algorithm and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, if it was that easy, I would do it. Wouldn't you do it, Costi?
Yeah, I mean, I've read some things about it in the past. There's been a couple different fancy marketing tactic Instagram ads that I received as well. And at the end of the day, nothing automatic in this business is real. It has to be hands-on. It has to be whether you're a daily spot better where you're a spots and situations guy based on the feel. Remember, you're dealing with humans also. So aside from the analytical side, you still have to factor in injuries. Are people going to play based on an emotional standpoint? I mean, AI is good with data, but what it's not good with is human emotion. They can't predict it because it's unpredictable. So the only way in my opinion, a human emotional factor can be tracked is with another human. And that's why I do think that old fashioned handicapping is much more efficient and it's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because again, even in 1983, when they created the computer group, I mean, and I could get into that, but that was a whole other thing. The government went after them thinking they were fixing games. They didn't understand how they were winning these games because they were just so ahead of the technology of making the line what their line is versus what the line should be. You remember a lot of this is line making 101, sharps, wise guys. When somebody uses a term like wise guy or sharp, and it's not that there's some mobster in the back room smoking a cigar saying, I paid. No, this is, we made this team -4. They're laying 6. There's a 2-point edge taking the dog. That's it, right? That's it. You're especially when you're not talking about baseball. Now, baseball, you have to throw it out the window because you're not looking at positive. With the Grok answer was based upon 110 odds. Now, I didn't go back and ask it about betting underdogs and making $100 a day, strictly betting baseball. I could. It takes 2 seconds to give me an answer. And I know what it's going to tell me. It should tell me, you need to bet all underdogs, right? You need to be 4-6 up $150 this week or $300 this week than being 6-4 bragging at all your buddies. You're 6-4 and you're down money, but the interesting part is how many people call and send me text messages. I want to quit my job. I want to be a full-time sports bettor. I want to, okay. And then I say to them, what is your goals and desires? Oh, I'd love to make an extra $100 a day. I have $2,000 to work with. Well, the real answer is you should have 11 and you should be betting $2,000 a day. And the problem is I give out 5 games. In the last 2 days, I've released 10 MLB games, 5 and 5, right? Man, that's a lot of games. I wish I could bet the whole board. I wish that everything aligned where I could bet every MLB game every day. That would be amazing if I could spin my money on every MLB game every day. Woo! That would be amazing. The problem is finding the high value bets because you don't want to just make a bet to bet. You still want to have the expected value and have the edge on that bet. So therefore, it's like today, there's only one game to bet on. Miami, for me. That's it. One game. So I would love to bet a gazillion dogs. I can't. I can only bet on Miami, and it just reminded me I got to bet it right now. See, right now on the air live. Miami.
I'm going to answer this question. So
Miami.
No cashing out early, I agree. What do you recommend when the anchor of the team, like Halliburton, gets hurt 4 minutes into the game and still has the early cash out option? Well, the reality is you're probably not going to get a good cash out option because they're going to adjust.
No, of course not.
As soon as Halliburton's hurt.
But let me stop you there. You're answering the question wrong.
I'll put it back up on the screen.
You're answering the question wrong. Go back to 1983. The real answer is you want to bet like it's 1983, not like it's 225. And any extra thing that the sports book gives you is for them to make more money off you. Do you think Uncle Vinny on the fucking corner in Brooklyn was going to give you a cash out option? Right? Are you crazy? My mother was born in Brooklyn, Nostrand Avenue. You think I'm going to go up to Nostrand Avenue? Yo, Vinny.
Give me the cash out.
Give me the cash out option. That's say, what the fuck are you talking about? Act like these things don't even exist. This is what I don't understand. When I say it, I don't mean it as a disrespectful. Understand that every extra type of wager that they give you is for them to make more money. So if you just wager like you're dealing with Uncle Vinny on the corner and there's no cash out option, you're not even thinking about the cash out option, because just like a non-correlated parlay is a sucker bet, a cash out option is a sucker bet.
And also they give you on the legal books, they give you the boost.
Like the whole refunding you after the game.
Well, that's
like Al said, that's marketing, because if you
great
think about
marketing.
It's great marketing because they give it to you. Then they say in DK dollars.
I think it's great.
Listen, another bet in the gun.
It's going to keep them, that client, from leaving DK and going to somewhere else, because they feel like they're being respected for a situation, which, back what you said back in the 80s, Vinny wasn't giving that to you. Vinny wasn't telling you that Halliburton got hurt 4 minutes in the game and his props, not that Vinny had props available, but but on the other hand, when they give you these boosts, 30% parlay boost, do this, do that, they're simply sucking you in to bet that bad bet. Now, what hosts are offering, which I believe take all of it, is they give you free play. Free play, when you can make a standardized bet, that's completely normal. They just want you to keep coming back. So taking free play from hosts, nothing wrong with that. But when they start doing these parlay boosts, psychologically, if you have a parlay boost, you're automatically going to put a parlay ticket in because you believe you're getting a sale on the parlay. Like, you're automatically getting more than what you normally would have gotten. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, like Eric said, why are they giving you that 30% boost? Right. Why do they show you the most publicly bet parlays that you could tag along and bet with who cares? So if you make a bet, I always say this, if you made a bet before the bet started, that money is gone. It's allocated to that bet. Why do you think halfway through you now have the ability to take half of it back? Because you're either scared to lose, or that money means that much more to you that you want to pull it back with a small profit because it means a lot to you, versus it's gone, poof, doesn't exist.
If you have a local bookmaker, or you walk into a casino and bet cash, and you put the ticket in your pocket and you walk out, you're not communicating with the bookmaker in-game in real time, right? So the reality is, the more communication that they interact with the player, it's for the player to get fleeced, right? The moral of the story is, it doesn't matter whether Hard Rock gave you a cash out option slightly less when Hall got hurt. What matters is you're even looking at the cash out option. What I'm saying is, don't even look. Bet it and forget it like it's 1983. All this other stuff is psychobabble, because a real bettor that's actually going to make money should be betting 20 games a day anyway. It's just one game. It doesn't matter.
That's the whole one game emphasis is what's killing most people's bankrolls. When they go into it either on a parlay side, now they're depending on 8, 9 out of 10, and then they have the last. Now, if you're lucky, listen, I could play both sides of it if it's an option for you. If you have a 10-legger and it happens to be the last leg is the last game on the board, and you have a small entry to make a huge profit, and you want to bet the other side to hedge it a little bit because you want to at least make some sort of, if you're lucky enough where your situation is like that, I don't mind that. But cashing out a parlay, if you put it in, it's there for a reason. You got to let it ride. You got to act like the money is gone. It disappears.
Yeah, but again, it's the whole we're gonna have a VIP coordinator contact the player. We're gonna get text messages from the sports book. It's all a bunch of, it's a creative way to make more money. And these are publicly traded companies on the financial stock market. These are not businesses that are interested in your This is a war. The war is from the bettor to the bookmaker. Now, if you're a winning bettor, then again, we've had this conversation, and then the hardest thing is to actually bet, right? If you live in Florida, man, you're screwed basically. Hard Rock is trash. End of story. Like, if you bet at Hard Rock, you're betting at a trash book. You should be betting offshore. That's just, you're screwed. Every sharp client that I've had has got limited at Hard Rock in Florida. Why? Because the ones that actually follow the program, they realize they're getting sharp action. Now, every bettor that's subscribed, that got access to the sharp action, but still plays their own games with our games, doesn't get limited, because then they can tell by the style of play they're not sharp, right? This whole, it's legal in Florida. It's not legal in Florida. It's legal in an Indian reservation in Florida that has a monopoly on sports wagering. That's it, right? So it's not part of the 39 states that has legal sports wagering. Florida, it doesn't even count. It's not in the equation. It's meaningless. So every time somebody calls me and says, I can't win enough money, and can you believe they limited me to $100 a game? You got to have a lot of books. Like Al says, you got to have 5-10 books. It's a lot of work. You don't get the pretty one account with all your money in the account, and you get to just see your balance continue to grow. No, you got one account here, you got one account there, you got one account here, you got one account there. Then you got, like yesterday, Micah went 3-0, but he went 2-0 on two totals that he played in one of my accounts. He played them, and then within 2 seconds, the line, each total dropped a point. Now, he won both, but I had a guy call me from Hollywood. He's like, my line, so I said, just don't bet it. Well, it didn't affect the result, right? In the San Diego game, the final was 1-0, right? He's like, this morning, I should have bet it. No, more times than not, if you're betting the wrong number, it's going to hurt you long term. But if you had 15 books, you would have actually got the right number. So, like, once you get locked into the winning part is easy, and the actual betting is hard because the sports books don't want you to win. That becomes the real work that we're dealing with, that guys like Michael Kent in 1983 were dealing with, right? I don't know this guy, I never met him, but it's a good story to fall back on because it makes you understand that when you win, you are going to get tortured to bet. If you're on Instagram or you're someone, I saw this guy, like you had some guy, don't say the guy's name, you say, have you followed this guy? Yes. Remember that guy called you? These guys like to call you. Right. These guys like to call Costi and tell him, did you see this guy, how much he's winning, on a 30-second sponsored ad on it?
No. So they don't even, no, it's not how much are they winning. It's he done good. What is it? What is he's done good? What does he's done good mean? Like, it's like, unfortunately, I don't have the ability to dumb down math. I've always been a math guy. Growing up, it's always been my favorite class. I'm always enamored with it and how it functions with sports betting. And when I talk to clients, everything is about bottom line to the dollar P&L. And if somebody can't tell me what they've actually done in the last 6 months, that means they don't track any of that. They're just betting. They're bettors. They're not guys that are in it for the long haul. They're just in it for the instant gratification, night to night to night, and pocket money, what they hold in their pocket and what they're walking around with, right? And that's maybe how these people operate in their careers as well, or jobs, or whatever they're running. Is there's no longevity with it. So it's hard to be a chameleon with some of the clients that I talk to because they don't really understand that this is all math based. There's going to be variance. There's going to be losing seasons. mean, I'll be honest with anybody that's watching the show right now. Baseball has not been a winning season. Doesn't mean it won't be by the end of baseball. We still
It's
have
not
more
even
than half the
All-Star
season.
break yet.
I know, but I'm just saying I have no problem coming on here and sharing that, because what about the football season that we absolutely killed it? What about college basketball? Well, we absolutely killed it. What about NBA? Well, we absolutely. So, like, you got to look at the bigger picture, right?
But it goes back to the same old scenario. If you're trying to replicate what professional bettors do, there's no season, and there's no I love ones. I really love this.
We have to communicate to the end user, and unfortunately we get the bunt end of the stick, where it's to us. It doesn't matter. We could say our groups, if we ever communicated with our groups and said, "Hey, you're having a losing week. What's going on?" One, we would lose that connection. They would drop us. What do you mean a losing week? They don't even understand that terminology. It's like, when you deal with us, we're basically sports psychologists to bettors. We get the information of the games. Yes, I handicap a few little markets throughout the year. One of being NFL. That's pretty much it. Myself. And we're communicating to the client daily, whether they're getting cut off from their local books, how to actually be able to get more money down, where to bet, how to manage your money, how to pull actual withdrawals and how much you should pull, how to change your variance, how to adjust your units. All these things that these syndicates that we deal with would never put in the time to deal with the client. That's why we're hired for this exact reason, to be that middleman and buffer between these mega groups that are very efficient at what they do, but they have to do what they do on a daily basis to be successful. They can't hold every client's hand after a losing day or after a winning day, or after a day the client decided he didn't want to play. And I couldn't tell you how many times, like I had a client yesterday, Eric. He has been basically getting the NBA playoffs for the entire NBA playoffs. And we went over the data. I said, we had a really good NBA playoffs. He goes, "Oh, well, I didn't play half the games." I'm like, what do you mean? "I just didn't play them. I didn't like your pick."
Fine.
I'm like, well, what's the point of you being a subscriber and paying a high ticket price to make high ticket money? "Oh, well, I'm not really, like, there's no urgency and no direction for that type of client to ever be successful long term. It's like, why invest money and time when you're not actually going to use
So it goes back to the financial money management world. So, you're giving the client the information.
You're right. Exactly. Love that.
You're giving the client the information. I'm going to actually, I want to defer back to Big John for a second. I went back up and he said, will AI be able to give us accurate picks though? I've seen people online using AI to analyze team states wins and ultimately AI picking a side or best bet. So now I'm just going to pick on that term. So think about what best bet means. It is the desire to not play the 20 games you need to play a day to make money, right? It's the desire of easy. I want the path of least resistance, right? So there is no best bet. Now there could be gradations and ratings of bets. So Al, who I'm pulling this from YouTube when we posted it, 31 winning weeks, 11 losing weeks since the first of week 1 of NFL in 2024. 2024. Made $507,300. Rating his games 1 to 10 units. Now he had a very high record on his 10 unit plays. I don't think he lost one. He was like 5-0 or 6-0.
He did lose one. Remember?
Okay, he lost one. So he's like 6. He was like 6-1, right? So if somebody would have quote unquote waited and bought and subscribed and only played the 7, 10 unit best bets, they win 70, they win 60, they lose 10, they make 50, they make 49 units. Okay. That's 10% of the 507. 50 units of the 500.
Eric, that's the laziness.
So if some guy thought he was sharp, I'm going to just wait for the 10 unit.
We've had clients do that. It's the laziness.
I'm not going to name them. But yes.
I'm not going to name them either, but it's the laziness comes because when a college football Saturday, I'm not even talking about college basketball. It's a whole different animal, 10x the volume. When you're talking about a college football Saturday and you're throwing out 15 different bets, which ultimately is taking up 70% of your bankroll. So let's say you have a $10,000 bankroll, you have $7,000 in play. Most amateur bettors can't stomach the fact that 70% of their bankroll is exposed on one day. Not on one game.
I want 100%.
I know, but I'm just saying they can't stomach it because it takes away the excitement of that 3:30 SEC game. Alabama's playing LSU. They're watching the game, and that game is just one little tidbit out of the other 15, 16 games on the board. And they can't stomach the fact that that game doesn't matter. So where they're at a bar, they're watching it with buddies. When they ask, well, how much do you have on the game? Oh, well, I have this, but then I have 10 other games of Old Dominion playing in college football that has the biggest rating, right? I'm just making it up.
I get it.
But it takes away the excitement. But in turn, when you take away the excitement is where you start making the most amount of money. So how can you flip like I had a client actually in the last couple of days, you heard him on speaker yesterday, because I don't think I could follow your system because it takes up too much time. What does time mean? Is 5 minutes a day a lot of time? Well, I don't like to bet a lot of games. And then we go through, we do a deep dive into his account and realize that he's a net loser for years with a local credit book. I said, do you understand if you do this the right way between September to December, your local book is going to cut you off. I'm going to give you opportunities and show you how to be able to still bet, but he's going to cut you off. It's inevitable. Because what do you mean? I've been a client of his for years. Well, I guess so. Yeah. But
your bookmaker loves you.
Because you're a losing bettor, you probably have a longer shelf life than a guy that's coming to me that's a winning bettor that's going to continue to win long term. So we do this show to give back, to give everybody an understand. Everything we do on this show and talk about, we would talk to new clients already on the phone, streamlined. But we choose to do this for an hour every single week to give you guys the opportunity to think a little bit differently when it comes to sports betting. We have plenty of shows on this channel that give away all the free picks on the day's board. We have an amazing group of handicappers that are very good in their own way.
But I'll give you an example. I talk to clients, potential clients that'll inquire that said, I followed A's free picks. I'm just, game guy X's free picks. And he was 7-0 and I watched. And then the next day I bet him all for $2,000 a game and he went 1-7. It's like, you can't hop. It's like, I read that comment about Mitch and the thing. Good.
He really did, man.
What's interesting. So when he originally met me, he knew of me. He said, I want to bring on a syndicate, not a handicapper. I got enough handicappers. And we met. I flew down with Costi. We broke bread at his house with him and Carrie and hooked him up with Micah. And, now he's involved with, the biggest syndicates in the world. And he's like, and I explained to him, I said, there's no way I can put plays online because you got to have them in by 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There's no way I can have log in and just get a night because we're updating all throughout the day. I said, it's not going to be for everybody. I mean, I think at the highest point, we've had 50 clients using our products, right? That's fine. 250,000 subscribers, 50 clients. It's less than 0.5%, but that's the way it should be, right? Because not everybody wants to start with the correct bankroll and reverse engineer it backwards. Too many people are trying to build a $10,000 bankroll versus starting with it. Like if it was up to me, in the hedge fund world, there's minimums to put money into a hedge fund. 500 minimum, lockup for 120 days to 365 days. Most of them are about $1 million a minimum. The problem with the sports books is they allow you to deposit as little as $100. So there's no barrier to entry. Right?
You're lower than that.
But my point is, for me, I won't even talk to somebody unless I'll talk to anybody. I take that back. I don't want anybody to subscribe unless they're at least working with a $10,000 bankroll on the lowest volume syndicates that I have to offer, i.e., if you paid, for the regular base dime club, you're 15-7 in the last 22 WNBA games, averaging 1 to 2 games a day. But if you're calling me up and you're saying I have $1,500, I want to get it to 10,000 quickly, again, I think you want to say to yourself, I wouldn't open up a stock trading account and trade stocks with $200. So why would I do that with sports? And if you can, and I'm not saying it's easy.
We also say this is for the syndicate side of betting. Now we have products that are free. There's products that you could buy somebody's daily picks for $19. You can do whatever you want with a $400 account. I mean, before we got on the video today on the podcast, I had 2 clients call me that said, I got 400 in my account. I put 300 on a 5 pick tonight. And if it hits, I'm going to have X amount tomorrow. But I'm also looking for the best bets. Yeah, that's out there.
And if my aunt had basketball, she'd be my uncle.
But I also said, look, if you really like a certain personality and you watch him every day on YouTube, on this channel, just go and buy his daily picks. It's a credit guarantee. There's nothing better than a credit guarantee for you guys, because if you're buying somebody's daily picks, you now get to buy them. And if it loses, you get a credit to buy them the next day. It's amazing. But from a syndicate side, it doesn't financially make sense because daily doesn't matter to us. It's all volume. It's all long-term. And there's a lot more people involved than one individual person selling their opinion, which again, everybody, you see the leaderboards. I mean, there's some of the best guys in this industry are in the PickDawgz family, giving you guys active ability for you to play their game. So there's something for everybody on this channel, whether you're just watching this for completely free education, whether you're buying the best bets from the handicappers, or whether you're subscribing to any of our products from Eric and myself. There's something for everybody, and we appreciate each and every one of you that continuously tune in week after week. I see people in the comments. It's the same people tuning in because they're learning. They're not doing it to purchase anything. They're doing it because they're learning and they're understanding that there is a way to make money long-term if you have the knowledge. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you. We have 2 minutes left, Eric.
So here's a perfect example of why I can't release daily selections online. While I'm online live, one of my groups just came with a baseball play. Now I'm scrambling to get it in before the line moves. And so you can't sell that one individual game by itself. Won't matter whether it wins or loses. My job is just to add to that, try to get those 20 games in, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. We will be back here, guys, again next week. Same time as always, 1 o'clock live. As we get closer to football season, we're going to bring on some really cool guys here. David Miller is going to be on here. Come football season, you get to pick his brain. He's like a human robot. and we'll get Micah back here once it get closer to football.
Line move, can't bet it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're gonna have some really cool guest guys coming up here. We are in the dog days of summer, so we're gonna give you guys as much content as possible, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Smash the like button. If you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe, turn on notifications. This show will be on every single Thursday at 1 p.m. We will bring him back. Micah's actually traveling at the moment. He will definitely be back. So you will see much more of Micah as we get closer to football season. So with that being said, guys, thank you again. I think we acted professional today, so we don't have to act more professional tomorrow. I think we were very professional today.
We're good.
All right, man. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.